Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you know who I am, you know what I do. If you don't know who I am a React content creator, also a streamer. I usually make my content while I'm streaming, so please join my stream if you feel like adding to the content and adding some comments. I will put my stream times in the post, so go to my YouTube post, like, comment, subscribe. I talk about basketball, so if you like anyone with basketball insight, I got you. And I talk about drama, so if you like TikTok, brain rot, bullshit to numb your mind, I got you. So, with that being said, and out the way, let's get this started. Today, we're going to be reacting to a basketball video. AM Hoops. Every NBA team wanted him, then he disappeared. Alright? I saw this. This was the first Nikola that I fell in love with as a kid, as a Chicago Bulls fan. Nikola Mirotic, okay? I had mad respect for this guy when I was younger, so let's see what this video be about. Alright? We're going to have turn this up. Alright, put this at 1.25 speed, and let's start the video.
Every year we see NBA players return back to Europe with their tail between their legs after their chance in the NBA. Turns out they weren't good enough, or they just couldn't adapt. Other EuroLeague MVPs that failed, like Milos Teodosic, or that other dude recently, Sasha Vezenkov, who people said was the king's secret weapon, literally compared him to Klay Thompson in his stats to Victor Wembanyama. He ended up averaging 5 points a game, demanded to be traded or waived by Sacramento. No offense, I'm sure it just wasn't fair to him. Euro fans are triggered right now, but that was not the case for Nikola Mirotic. He was
This was my guy. This was my guy. I loved him. Oh, man. I loved him. And to me, he was a pure shooter. I like
the prime of his career. Had a deal on the table for millions, but shockingly turned it down for less money in Europe. In fact, the NBA asks GMs every year, who is the best international player not in the NBA? And since Mirotic left, he has been #1 every year, except for when it was Victor Wembanyama, and this year at 30 years old. But he's still #2. Other Euros would die to be that wanted by the NBA. So why did he disappear overnight? Well, what Nico said after leaving was actually a lie. He told us the truth years later when he was finally ready to talk about it. Underdog Fantasy helps me make the most
What do we think it is? By the way, we watched the video, we watched the ads. What do we think it is? I'm going to be honest with you. Even though I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, when Mirotic was on my team, I was a little baby. I was like 11, 12... 11, 12, 13. So 11 through 13. Okay, I was a little baby. So I'm not going to have much memory as far as why he left the team, right? Or what he may have said when he left Chicago. I just knew one day he was there and one day he wasn't. I wasn't like in depth as far as trade rumors and shit like that. I know, shocking. My fucking 13-year-old ass wasn't in trade rumors like that. Puh. Am I even a real fan? Ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll find out why he left, but I'm curious on what people think, so go ahead, put it in the comments section if you want to. Let me know what you think or the reason is for him leaving, and let's keep going.
Regular season games 10 times more exciting. All I do is pick for whatever games I'm going to watch that night. When I'm playing Pick'em, it's always fun. Plus, I can win a little money or a lot of money with their game streaks if I pick 11 right in a row, up to 1,000x my cash. So let me
11 right in a row, bro. I'll have parlays where I'd be happy if I pick 5. I don't even like making parlays no more. What the fuck, bro?
Give you my 2 picks for today. An easy 2. First, it's Desmond Bane, lower on his assists. Then Devin Vassell, lower on his rebounds. And best of luck if you were tailing those picks. Check out this map. Underdogs available in states right here, like Texas, California, or Florida with champions. Please, please, please. It really helps out the channel to use my promo code AMHOOPS when you sign up. Plus, it helps you. You get a special free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. But to explain this, we need to go back to when he got into basketball in the first place. Mirotic was born in Montenegro, where soccer is king, but his parents were like, yo, our kid is so tall, he's got to play basketball. So he made the switch at 13 years old and signed a pro contract 1 year later. That is how talented this man is. Picked up a basketball and in 1 year is a pro. So Mirotic
didn't not Jokic, Doncic. Didn't Doncic play when he was also a teen as well? Like, I'm just saying, like, that should show why it's hard for a lot of European players to come to the U.S. and be successful. And here's why I say that. Because basketball is still king here, guys. I know that we have a lot of people saying that the Europeans are rising up and shit like that, and that is true. But KD said it himself. Basketball is still king here, all right? And that's just straight a fact. You have a lot of 17, 18-year-olds that are great that maybe could play against some NBA players, but you're never going to see some 14, 15-year-old get a contract in the league in America simply because our talent is just way too good. You may be able to find 14 and 15-year-olds that can bust the ass of some college students, but they're never, ever, ever going to be able to make it to the league on a contract like that, because just the talent that we have and disbursement of talent that we have in the league is just too good. Europeans are getting better and they're getting up there, but just like he pointed out in the beginning of the video, there's several European players who were great, several European MVPs who were great, several European players that were regarded as their GOATs over there, at their country, their GOATs, their best of all time, and they come here and they're not even starting. So yeah, sometimes it's hard for the game to translate, and when you have like 13, 14-year-olds that are able to get fucking contracts, that shows that they're very fucking good. That's good. All right, I'm not diminishing their play ability, because I like Mirotic as well, and I also, because I'm a Bulls fan, and I also know that Doncic is an amazing player. Mirotic is not a Doncic. I want to point that out. Now, I like Mirotic, but he was not a Doncic. But still, like, Doncic is one of a kind, and I'm not trying to take away from his skill or anything like that. I'm just saying that how many stories have we heard of this? 13, 14-year-olds getting contracts in Europe. Mirotic and Doncic are probably not the only two this happened to. This probably happened several times with really great players who get contracts, but they're not a Doncic or even a Mirotic, so they don't even come over and translate to the NBA, because our talent is just way too good. And the talent over in Europe, good as it may be, is not as good as it is in the NBA. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. If you're from Europe and you hate my opinion, go ahead and attack me. That's fine.
Mirotic joined the Real Madrid first team in 2011, and he won the Rising Star Award, which is like Rookie of the Year. So the Houston Rockets drafted him, but his rights were then traded to the Chicago Bulls. Nico made his NBA debut 3 years later and was an instant fit in the modern NBA. Scored 27 points in a win over the Grizz, going 6 for 6 from deep at 6 foot 10 inches tall. Dude ended up second in Rookie of the Year in 2015 to Andrew Wiggins, and he got a lot of first place votes. A lot of people forget that. And in a few years, guys like Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, and Pau Gasol left the team, so it was time for Nico to take a bigger role till a teammate assaulted him. The starting job was between Nico and a young Bobby Portis. Reports say they got into it at a preseason practice. Mirotic lunged at Bobby twice, so Portis swung, connected, and gave Nico a concussion and broke multiple bones in his face with one punch. Dude was taken to the hospital and missed the first 23 games of the season. That is almost a third of the year for one punch. That is like Draymond on Jordan Poole 10 times worse. So the Bulls suspended Bobby for 8 games, and he apologized.
I'm wrong for what I did. I want to publicly apologize to Nico.
But Mirotic wasn't having it. He told Chicago, you can either have me or Bobby Portis, not both. But on that same day that he made the demand, the Bulls picked up Bobby's contract. So just like the Draymond Jordan Poole thing, keep the guy who punched and ditch the other guy. But Nico was playing.
And just like the Chicago Bulls, we got rid of someone who was clearly better for someone who was not. I'm sorry. Bobby Portis was good. He was, and he's okay. He's a okay player. An okay player, an okay role player. Has some, he has good ability. That is for fucking sure. But as far as like him and Mirotic, especially back in 17, Mirotic all the way. And the fact that we got rid of him as an organization just shows you. Now, it wasn't as egregious as the Golden State shit. You know, they had options. As far as Chicago Bulls, they got fucked because they picked up the contract. But it is still kind of disappointing and kind of sad because, damn, Mirotic, man. I loved Mirotic. I did. When I was younger, D Rose and Mirotic, those were my two favorites. I like Jimmy Butler, but for some reason, I just loved a tall white man that could shoot the ball. I respected it. I liked it. All right. And Captain Kirk as well. Kirk Heinrich. If you know, you know. Fucking Captain Kirk, dog. With his fucking glasses. I loved Kirk. Those were my 3 Bulls players as a kid. Captain Kirk, Mirotic, D Rose. Those were my 3 favorites. I know people say Jimmy Butler, but I thought Jimmy Butler was dope. I liked him, but those were my, as far as like my top 3, those are my top 3. I loved Captain Kirk, dog. Captain Kirk. I tried to mimic Kirk's style of play. I'm being honest with you because I was a small guy myself, a small speedy guard, so I tried to mimic his play a lot when I was younger. So yeah, I love Captain Kirk. Let's keep going.
Great, so the Pelicans were glad to have him. In New Orleans, he averaged about 16 points on 43% from deep. But after 2 years, the Bucks wanted Mirotic to contend for a title. Nico was so good at this time, ESPN went crazy over this trade.
An absolutely grand slam deal for the Bucks. Not because it's a superstar player, but to get a guy like this on deadline day, there were 4 or 5 teams interested in him. Already the number 1 team in the East got better.
He struggled with injuries, but despite a dip in his stats, he entered free agency in demand by some of the best teams in the NBA. So while on vacation in Greece, his agent called and said, the Utah Jazz want you you with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert for 3 years, $50 million. About the same as players like Klay Thompson or Euro's Dennis Schroeder and Goran Dragic at the time. But instead, Mirotic announced he was leaving the NBA in the prime of his career. He remembers being at the airport in Greece, literally at the gate thinking, what am I doing at the airport? Why am I not back with my family? The NBA? Don't do it, Nico. If you go to Utah, you will sign. So I left the airport and went back to the hotel. So at 27 years old, he signed with Barcelona as the highest paid player in Europe, but still less per year than that Jazz offer. When people asked why, he said, the NBA was holding me back. My role was always the same. I was a player who was open to take shots, who made a pick and pop. I was expected to score 10 points, take a couple rebounds, that's it. I felt like time was passing and I had still not played the best basketball of my life. So it was time to go back and do something bigger in Europe, which made...
Okay. God, I'm not sure if I should push. Should I push forward with this video? I'm going to. God, the last time, because keep in mind, the reason I'm even asking this question is the last time I even talked positively about a European player, which is Jokic. The last time I talked positively about Jokic, I got bombed in the comments section because I said Jokic was top 20. So now I'm about to speak negatively, even about a player I liked. Oh, man, this is going to be rough. This is going to be rough. They're going to kill me in the comment section, huh? Okay, hopefully not. Listen, if you're from Europe, you're probably not going to like what I'm about to say. But, this is all I got to say. This is about a player I like, by the way. I liked Mirotic. But one thing I need to say is that if you feel like your role should have been expanded and you wanted to do more and you didn't want to just be a player to be relied on for a couple shots and a couple rebounds, you probably should have expanded your game. Now, albeit for me to talk about someone to expand their game in the NBA when I am nowhere close to the talent that you guys have, I will admit that. But one thing I will also say is that, you know, I just think about it with everything in life. If I'm working, right, at my job, and somebody's telling me that they're in a role that they don't really like, and they feel like it's boring, and they're stuck, and they want to move up, and they feel like they're just doing the same shit on repeat day in and day out, I'd probably tell them, hey, why don't you go ahead and, you know, because I have multiple roles at my job. Why don't you go ahead and study under me, or why don't you go ahead and listen to what I have to say, or why don't you go ahead and work long hours, do what you can to move up, did you get some classes done, because there's some classes you probably have to do to move up, get some classes done under your belt on the side, talk to the manager or the store manager, your boss, whoever that may be, let them know you want more responsibilities and what you can do to get there. Communicate, but also develop your skill. Communicate, develop your skill. Show that you're reliable. Show that you're dependable. Show that you deserve to get more handed to you, and it will happen. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I understand that I'm not an NBA player. Trust me. As big as I am, I know it's crazy, guys. But I'm not an NBA player. But when it comes to Mirotic and him not having the role that he wanted to play, him not being in the game and playing like fun basketball in his opinion, if you want to have more responsibility, you got to take that. And if you're going to take it, you got to say, hey coach, what can I do to get more responsibility? What can I do to get more minutes? What can I do to be more part of the offense? And what do you need me to do? What do I need to show you? Because I'll work at it and I'll do that. And maybe he did that and I'm just spitting empty air or dead air or fucking smoke in y'all face when he already did all this. And that's fair. But I'm just saying, if that's what he wanted and that's the reason he left, then he probably should just, I don't know, get better, dude. Get better. Get better. This is like Jerkmate ranked, bro. You're talking about how you're want to be Grandmaster Baiter, but you're not even Bronze Beater. What are we doing? Get better. Let's keep going.
It'd be partially true, but he explained the actual reason years later. On Barcelona, Nico dominated on the court, averaged 19 points and 7 boards in year 1, and almost guaranteed to win MVP year 2 before he disappointed in the play.
Oh, that's not even a real reason? Okay, so I was just spitting a bunch of fucking spit. Everything I said stands, by the way. If you want to move up in life, if you want to move up on your job, if you want to move up with anything, right? Basketball, sometimes it's not going to be as easy as just get better. That's why I was joking around when I said that. But sometimes it's going to, you can work as hard as you want to and you just won't move up. Sometimes that'll happen. I get that. But, a lot of the times when it comes to getting up in a higher spot, some people can find a way to get up through education, through working harder and showing more responsibility, communication, whatever the case may be. So all my statements stand. I know that's not perfect. It's not going to work every time. And some people are working their ass off just to be stuck at the bottom. I understand life, bro. Trust me. I've been broke for a long time. But I'm just saying, my statements still stand. But I guess that wasn't the reason.
Playoffs. So people started calling Mirotic overrated. It was a reputation that followed him since his first time at Real Madrid. Barca won 0 EuroLeague titles, and being the highest paid player comes with expectations. The low point was EuroLeague against rivals and his old team, Real Madrid. In a gigantic game, Nico was held to just 3 points. Why? Because some random 18-year-old named Eli Njai shut him down. He got Nico off his rhythm and he couldn't make a shot the entire night. But the worst part, Mirotic made 5 million euros while Njai was on a tiny contract, which in Spain could be as low as 30,000 euros a year. But finally, in 2022, at 30 years old, Nikola actually won that league MVP. And it was around this time that Nico felt accomplished enough to tell the real story. So he sat down with a famous European journalist to explain why he actually left the NBA.
Me sentí alejado de todo el mundo, hasta de mi propia familia. Estuve mucho tiempo fuera.
He and his wife had their first son in 2013, and Nico was missing him growing up. The NBA has 82 games traveling across the US for over half the year. Many athletes are willing to give up priceless moments with their family, but not Mirotic. When I was in the NBA, I felt far away from my family and I stopped enjoying basketball. I wished to spend more time with my children, in the church. I had a kind of personal crisis. So my family was my first priority. I discussed a lot with my wife. It was the first time I put my family over my career. And it turns out Nico has been deeply religious and family-oriented his whole life. He even got an award from his church for living his faith, participated in prayer walks and protests in his off-season time. He just had things more important than basketball. So for years, people couldn't understand why a guy would turn down the NBA when millions of people dream of being in that position. And he needed to justify that move before actually explaining to the world why he did it. If he explained it the day he left the NBA, people probably would have called him soft or criticized his
I wouldn't call him soft. Let's finish it off and then I'll get my thoughts.
decision. But after winning that MVP, what are they going to say now? Recently, Nico moved from Spain to Italy to play for Milan. He averaged about 15 points on 40% from 3, won the championship, was the Italian Finals MVP. He is still recognized as one of the best players outside of the NBA, but he has 0 regrets about his decision. But the best Euro in the NBA is actually the best player in the world right now, named Nikola Jokic. The Joker might win his 4th MVP this year, but his team is in trouble. Yes, they have had some wins recently, but when they play the best teams in the NBA, it's not close. So this is a look at how the Nuggets can help Jokic before it's too late.
Okay. That was a good video. Now, listen, this is my thoughts as far as him saying, oh, the people would have viewed him as weak if he went around and said that he wanted to leave because of family and he wanted to leave because of religious reasons. I don't think that's true. I honestly believe the first reason he gave looked a little weak, right? Because like I said in the video before, I don't think it's 100%, right, gonna happen. If you work hard, you're gonna get, you're going to get what you ask for. If you work hard, you're gonna succeed. Sometimes you work super hard and life's just not fair. I understand that, trust me. But one thing I do know is that if you're in a position to move up and you're in a position to better yourself, but you haven't even tried that, then I feel like that's a little bit of a red flag. That, if anything, can be seen as soft. That, if anything, can be seen as weak. The excuse of, well, I'm just standing around and shooting threes and catching rebounds, I want to do more, I feel like I should be able to do more. It's like, okay, if you're able to do more, then show your coaches, talk to your coaches, tell them why you're able to do more. Right? I feel like that excuse comes off a little quote-unquote weak. I won't even say it's like weak because it depends. Did he actually try? Did he talk to a coach? You know what I mean? But if he just made that statement without letting anybody know, and that's the reason he left, then obviously that would be seen as quote-unquote weak. But saying that I'm missing out on family, because 82 games a year is a lot. They travel 50% of the time, and they're at practice the other times. Like, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot on you. I get it. Now you get paid handsomely for it, but at the same time, you're away from your family, you're away from friends. Like, it's the entire year, damn near. I mean, what is like When's camp? Isn't camp around August, September? September, I'd say. So August, September, and if you make it far in the playoffs, you're not done playing until May, maybe June. So then you got July, August, maybe, and then September, and you're right back at it. You get like 2.5, 3 months, and you're right back at it. So I get it. I get it. Okay? It can be draining. And especially if you want to have a family and you want to be there for your family every single night, it's not going to be a possibility if you're in the NBA. So I don't think people would have called him weak. If anything, that makes me like Mirotic more. That makes me like Mirotic more, you know? He loves his family, and he wanted to be there with his family. That's all. That's nothing big. There's no big deal with that. Damn. I never calling someone weak because they want to move back home with their family and they're super religious. That's crazy. That's crazy work. But that was a good video, y'all. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're European and you're really upset with some of the comments I made, please let me know in the comment section. Would love to hear the hate that you have for me. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good one. If you have any content you want me to react to, please let me know in the comment section. Keep in mind, I make 4 to 5 drama brain rot videos a day. 4 to 5 drama brain rot videos a week. 4 to 5 basketball videos a week. So you will always have content for whatever flavor of ice cream you are in the mood for. So peace out, y'all. Love, and have a good one.